Since the beginning, Jeff Bezos has been constantly reminding his team that at Amazon, it is always day one. And every year, he reinforces the company's commitment to this approach by republishing the 1997 letter to shareholders in which he first mapped out this day one approach. Here's how he described his vision for Amazon.
This is day one for the internet, and if we execute well for Amazon.com, today, online commerce saves customers money and precious time. Tomorrow, through personalization, online commerce will accelerate the very process of discovery. Amazon uses the internet to create real value for its customers, and by doing so, hopes to create an enduring franchise even in established markets. Though we are optimistic, we must remain vigilant and maintain a sense of urgency.
That sense of urgency is what keeps Amazon acting like an aggressive startup 2 decades later, even though the company makes more than $100 billion annually. Often when companies reach a degree of success, they take their foot off the gas pedal. They get to a certain revenue number, reach a tipping point with the number of employees that they have on staff, and then they start to try and figure out how to start acting like a more mature company. In doing so, they end up abandoning the traits that enabled them to reach that level of success in the first place. No bueno. Being a big company doesn't mean you have to stop acting like an aggressive startup. And it doesn't mean that you have to abandon that sense of urgency that existed in the early days of your business that fueled your growth. Amazon, as big as they are, proves that this is possible. Now, Jeff Bezos was recently asked what day 2 looks like, and he was very frank with his response in his 2016 letter to shareholders.
Day 2 is stasis, followed by irrelevance, followed by excruciating, painful decline, followed by death. And that is why it is always day 1.
Ouch. He went on to explain a bit more about what day 2 looks like for companies who find themselves in it.
To be sure, this kind of decline would happen in extreme slow motion. An established company might harvest day 2 for decades, but the final result would still come.
Now, the good news is Jeff Bezos provides clear advice for how your company can act like an aggressive startup with a sense of urgency. And he breaks it down into 4 key areas. Number 1, obsess over your customers. Business is about creating value for your customers. And to do that consistently over time, you have to be relentless about solving your customers' problems like none other. You have to create an experience for them that makes them feel like no other option will do. According to Jeff Bezos, this is the most important aspect of being a day 1 company.
He notes, even when they don't know it, customers want something better, and your desire to delight your customers will drive you to invent on their behalf.
Number 2, resist proxies. Processes are important because they help you operate both efficiently and effectively. They help you deliver the same level of quality to your customers over and over again. But if you're not careful, your processes will run you. Bezos explained the danger in this approach with his 2016 letter to shareholders.
This can happen very easily in large organizations. The process becomes the proxy for the result you want. You stop looking at outcomes and just make sure you're doing the process right. A remarkable customer experience starts with the heart, intuition, curiosity, play, guts, taste. You won't find any of it in a survey.
Number 3, embrace external trends. Independent of what is happening inside your company and the vision that you have for it, there are outside forces that are changing the way business is done. It is up to you to see the trends and embrace them rather than waiting until you are forced to get on board. Now, Bezos described in his letter why this is imperative.
If you fight them, you're probably fighting the future. Embrace them and you have a tailwind.
Number 4, make high velocity decisions. When you were just starting out, there was a ton of information that you didn't have. So you had to work to make the best decision with the data that you had at your disposal. You've got to get comfortable doing the same even when you've got the resources at your disposal to get even more information to make decisions with a greater level of certainty. Jeff Bezos has a strong viewpoint on this as well.
Most decisions should probably be made with somewhere around 70% of the information you wish you had. If you wait for 90%, in most cases, you're being slow.
Now it's time to get back to day one, no matter your size and no matter how long you've been in business.
If you like this video, make sure you don't miss an episode. Scoot on over to SoniaEThompson.com and get signed up for email updates. Once you do, I'll send you the free mini course, The Customer Magnet Playbook. 7 essential elements your organization needs to consistently win more customers. Talk soon.